Hi guys, today's video is about one of the things I get asked about the most. How to write an about page. Writing about yourself is the hardest thing in the world. I get it. It's the number one thing that I get asked to do because people and brands and small businesses and entrepreneurs really struggle to create content that sells themselves authentically and comfortably. It can be really uncomfortable to write about yourself and promote yourself when you feel like you don't want to get too personal, but you don't want to be overly corporate. You want to show what makes you different, but you don't want to sound like you're bragging. It's really, really hard to strike that balance. And sometimes writing it or like outsourcing it to a copywriter is the best thing to do. But not everybody can afford to hire a copywriter to write their about page. So I'm hoping some of these tips will help you if you're trying to write your about page right now. Here are the things to consider. Show some soul. Don't just talk about your CV. People don't need to know that you have all these qualifications or all this expertise or you went to XYZ school. You can tell a bit of this, but people don't really need to know that. They're not going to connect with that. Talking extensively about education, qualifications, awards and things can put a disconnect between you and your client. So I think it's really important to show some soul and some sincerity and something authentically about you rather than just showing your CV. You know, people can find that information probably somewhere like LinkedIn. They don't need to know that. What they need is to hear something from the heart. Secondly, tell a story. If you can create some kind of story, a real story, then I think that can have a real strong effect here. And that story can be anything. When I wrote an about page for a milliner last year, the story was literally from her as a little girl in her school uniform, in her summer dress. She had these memories, and that was the start of the fashion-loving woman she became. And so we took the roots of that little girl and turned that into her story. You know, your story might be something completely different. I've worked with people where their story has been that they picked up a camera late in life and became a photographer, and how that happened. Or their father was a photographer and he left them a camera when he passed away. You know, that's the story. And it's basically working out what your unique story is and how it connects emotively to your reader. Why should I care? That's the question you've got to ask yourself. When the reader's reading your content, they're going to ask themselves, why should I care? What's in it for me and why should I care? So it's about building that relationship, building that connection, increasing trust between you, and also showing a bit of story, showing a bit of like a soulfulness and your essence, rather than just saying this is my career and this is why I'm good. Another thing I would say is to be authentic in who you are, and that means not always being perfect. Too many about pages I see just are really perfect and polished and pretty, and there's a place for that. But what I find is that people, especially in the wedding industry, feel that they need to be perfect and pretty and polished all the time. And I really believe in grit, not gloss. Going a little bit beneath that glossy, pretty to a deeper texture underneath and finding out something real about the person that I'll remember. Because if I go on 5 pages for wedding photographers, they're going to sound the same. They're all going to use the same terms and the same words and unobtrusive, reportage, documentary, candid, fine art. I'm going to hear the same thing everywhere I go. What I really want to do is know something that's going to bond me to that person, to that company, and make me remember them, so that later on, when I'm saying to my fiance, I found some photographers, I'm not going, John, somebody or other, or was that Rachel, because they all blur into one. I'm going to know this person made me feel something. I know your images are going to be beautiful because you're a photographer. All 5 of those websites I go to, the images are going to be beautiful. It's not enough. It's not enough to be really talented. You have to be memorable. I have to remember you, and I'm not going to remember you if you're just nice. If you're just nice and you sound pretty and nice and you used all the right words like, you know, elegant, luxurious, romantic, blah blah blah. It all just falls into one. What I want is to know something true, something real. More than ever now, brands are asking to connect with, consumers are looking to connect with their brands. They're not wanting to be sold to and lied to and polish over the cracks. They'd rather see the cracks. And then I'm not saying like put all your dirty washing out, but when I worked for a wedding planner a while back, who had got divorced, that was really amazing. That her difference was that she was coming from a different position to other wedding planners. She wasn't idealistic about marriage. She was realistic about marriage, and she brought a lot of experience with her. And I think that that's the thing. It's about owning your identity, defining your difference, and showing something real. Letting someone in, connecting with your reader on a real emotive level. You don't have to go into all this deep stuff, but you have to show more than pretty, glossy. You have to show something about you. It's called an about page. Show me something about you. Don't just tell me about them, because when I read these 5, all I hear is about the same. It's like, instead of being called the about page, it should be called the bland page, because it's just like meh, luxury, meh, beautiful, meh, elegant, meh, get in touch. And I'm just like, I'm not going to remember you, and I don't really care, and you're not connecting with me. Make it about connection. Make the core of this page about connection and showing some of your story. And lastly, don't make it too long. Keep it concise. Keep it engaging. It's a breadcrumb trail. This page needs to get me to the next page, and that could be your portfolio or your work with me page or what you offer, or to get in touch and have a coffee. Do not try and say everything on your about page. Do not show your whole life history. Just give me the breadcrumbs. Just enough to make me want the bread. To make me eat the breadcrumbs and want the next bit. I want the next slice. I want to know more of your story. That's the important bit. Good luck, and let me know how you get on with your about page, and I'll see you in the next video.